Talking with Justin last night, he said he didn't feel prepared for what the USC defense brought. Was just wondering what preparation was like for the Trojan defense this past week.
Well, like we said last week, they had kind of a base deal that they do in every package, and then they have a unique pressure usually or unique coverage that they kind of employ for each individual team. And they didn't do anything drastically that much new in the blitz game, just more and varied. And, Justin, for the most part, handled that pretty well. We had a couple of assignment things up front, or several, assignment things up front. Some of it was assignment. Some of it was just getting beat. And then when that started to happen, then there was a little bit more hesitation, which led to other issues. But for the most part, he specifically handled it pretty well, made a couple big time throws. And that's a great film to learn from going forward.
Last week against Arizona State, you felt like it'd be difficult to run. Did you envision it'd be as difficult this week against USC? And how would you assess, after seeing the film, the way you guys handled their run defense?
Well, again, what's that? That's it. Again, that part of that, you got to give them a ton of credit for how they got it done. I don't know if we sat down and wrote down a yardage, goal or anything like that, but we have to be able to run the football. And again, had a couple very basic assignment errors early that then got in our head for a few more drives and got a few things going later on as things progressed. But yeah, just got off to a rough start.
Mark, when you look at some of the guys who are in key positions on both sides of the ball, they're freshmen, redshirt freshmen, or in a lot of cases, quieter guys, soft-spoken guys. Is there kind of a leadership void this year? Is it just one of those years where you don't have a ton of senior leaders, or how would you describe kind of the leadership on the team?
Yeah, I think that was something we talked about early on. I think we've talked about that several times of this is just a weird year in terms of natural leaders, natural leaders that have a lot of credibility. And so we knew coming into this that was something that we had to kind of take hold of as coaches. The guys that were probably the most natural, the most, all those things we talked about aren't they're hurt. And so that's just reality. But that's where we have to augment that and get in and just push things forward and push things through from the coach's standpoint and get the guys, the younger guys, like you're saying, more confident, more involved. Sometimes that's harder for them as they're playing more for the first time and kind of overwhelmed just from a confidence standpoint maybe or a total belief in themselves standpoint, and that'll come.
Talked the last few weeks about the competition between Ugo and Arion at corner. How did you think Ugo played, and what's his development been like over the course of this year? It seemed like he made some big plays out there.
Yeah, he did some good things. Again, we continued to compete pretty well. Just had some opportunities to make some plays both with the ball in our hands and tackling guys. Just have to wrap. Which again is easier said than done. Have to wrap those guys up and get them on the ground. But took some steps forward. But again, obviously gave up some explosive plays, which is a problem.
How do you feel like your team kind of handled the environmental pressure at the Coliseum? Were you happy with it? I know you kind of joked about the speakers and the bringing in the horse and all that.
Yeah, the pressure there is the dudes on the field. As far as the principals involved in the arena. But I think the noise wasn't really a factor in our false starts. It was guys kind of just being unsure for whatever reason, and hopefully that's just an experience, and we'll scratch that off the list of things to improve upon.
This is kind of going off of Ryan's question, but with such a young team already, does it concern you at all when veterans like Royce and Darren maybe aren't performing up to where we've seen them perform so far this season?
We need everybody to play great. It doesn't, at this point in the season, everybody's a veteran. I think everybody in the country is young and injured, right? If you ask some coach somewhere, but we have to play better collectively. We have to complement one another. Last night had some opportunities offensively to make some plays to help out when our defense is playing great, and didn't. And you have to give them credit for that. But so it's all sides, every person involved, starting right here.
I know it was late in the game, but Dakota came in and did some things. Matt Lewick said one of the reasons Justin's doing so well is because of how Dakota's helping him along. Can you just describe what it's been like for Dakota these past 3 or 4 weeks?
Well, yeah, he has. I'm not intimately involved as far as just their conversations, but he's been very positive in a tough situation. That's a hard situation to manage. A guy that's a competitive guy, a prideful guy, but he's done a great job of just outwardly being supportive and continuing to compete.
Darren Ravel tweeted out last night that there was talk or rumors or whatnot of Phil Knight wanting to pay someone $10 million to come in and give Oregon a title. What do you make of comments like that, especially when it's coming during a game because of the way the season has gone?
That's the nature of the profession, and yeah, it'd be cool if it was that easy. Yeah.
To follow up now.
I take it wasn't me that was getting the 10. I have to say it. Come on.
You've said that there's no margin for error at this point. Taking a look at the film and really the whole season in general, what's it going to take for this team to be able to win out and go 3-0?
Just that, seize every moment, seize every, as tonight, as guys are watching a little film, recovering, getting rest, getting ready for training and meetings tomorrow, just seizing every single opportunity. And when those plays come up, like that first play of the game, I was expecting a pick six or the opportunity for that, and kind of flip the other way, just seizing every possible moment like that, and if is our back against the wall? Absolutely. And hopefully they learn that that's how you have to be every single day if you want to be great, if you want to be elite. It's not, you just do it on Saturday, you just rise to the occasion. That's a myth. We have to rise to every single minute.
Obviously, neither you or Stanford has had the season that you guys probably envisioned or wanted. I guess what kind of comparisons do you see, and do you see any bit of Oregon in Stanford in terms of having had a lot of success in the Pac-12 North and then not having as much success this year?
I think just if you look solely at the numbers, their offense and our defense are similarly probably frustrated at each other, but they're still very effective when they get everybody kind of healthy. They've been had a few guys in and out that I think they've built some confidence and gotten back to their original starting quarterback. McCaffrey's back healthy, and so I think they've gotten confident right at the wrong time for us.
Jerry, do you have any questions?
No, I do not.
Thanks for. Any other questions? Kristen?
This is a lighthearted question. With the election coming up, not asking who you're voting for, but if you had to have a president and a vice president coming out of your players, who would be president and vice president and your reason behind it?
Oh my gosh. I did this one time, and I can't remember. I think Jeff Locke was in there somewhere, Jawan Williams maybe. They're pretty pragmatic, smart guys. But yes, I have voted. But yeah, that'll be it on that.
Okay. Thanks.